Hello, I'm Jane. Welcome to my channel, Thread My Bobbin, where I'm going to share my quilting projects and hopefully it's going to help me keep accountable to get some things done. But I thought I would start off by showing my UFOs. The last few weeks I've been cleaning out my sewing room and kind of gathering up all the bits and pieces of all my UFOs and putting them in boxes and bags. So that's where I'm going to start. So, first up, the Splendid Sampler. This was a great project. Pat Sloan and another lady, Splendid Sampler 1, and all these beautiful little sampler blocks. I didn't get to make a whole heap, but the ones I did make, I really love. At the moment, they still don't have any applique, like I've ironed them on and put them down, but they're not stitched down, so everything needs to be stitched down. I love this little block. Really cute. We've got cupcake and a beautiful block. There, little rose. I like this one, kind of a, I don't know, a takeoff of the 3 china ducks on the wall. 3 seagulls. And this is really cute, little sewing machine, flower pot. And honestly, I don't think I want to make a whole quilt out of these blocks. Now that I've found them again, for a long time I couldn't even find my Splendid Sampler blocks. That's a coneflower, probably on the wrong background. So, and that's my fabrics. As I've been going through them, I'm trying to work out which ones I want to finish and which ones I want to do something else with. And I think with this one, I'm going to make it into a wall hanging, maybe a wall hanging for the sewing room. I'm hoping to put my design wall up here at the back, some flannelette to put things on soon. But yeah, so at the moment my plan for this is to make it into a wall hanging and not make it into a quilt. So that's number 1, Splendid Sampler. When I retired, a couple of years ago now, about almost 3 years ago, I decided to join the quilt show because I thought, that's great, I'll do that block of the months and get some really beautiful quilts finished, because for too many years I've been starting quilts, not finishing as many as I'd like. So, Homeward Bound, this is as far as I got. Just a little house block in the middle of the very first block of the first month. So, I don't know if I'm going to finish it or not. I have all my nice tulle fabrics that I bought for it, but yeah, Homeward Bound. It might get finished, it might not. Got to decide. Okay, what's next? So we recently had an overseas trip. We spent 3 weeks in the UK and then had a really nice cruise. And when I got back from the cruise, Pat Sloan was doing the London sampler from, I think it's Cake Stand Quilts, and I just loved it. I have started, but I got stopped here. You can see that's ready to pin. So that is actually the Tower of London block. I think that's the 2nd block. And yeah, I've got this fun little box of Tilda fabrics that I've accumulated over the years. And the first block, Westminster Abbey. So that's as far as I've got with this, but I really do want to finish this. I think it's a lovely quilt, beautiful pattern, and it just reminds me of a great holiday that we had, one that we looked forward to for a long time. So London Sampler. Okay, now this is a quilt by Moda, Summer in the Country. There's a block cut ready to go. And I really like Moda's patterns. I really like the way they write them and what they come up with. So when I started the quilt, the first few blocks I did just in red, white and blue. And then I decided I wanted it to have a bit of a pop of yellow. So I added in some yellow in the blocks that I've done later. Jacob's Ladder block. I really like Jacob's Ladder, great pattern. And I really like this block. I've got a love-hate relationship with flying geese. When I first started making them, I really struggled. I still have to be careful. I recently bought a little block flying geese ruler, which I'm waiting to arrive. But I really like this block. I'd like to make a flying geese quilt one day. Not right now, but one day. that's a great block too. So I'll put a link to this pattern. Well, I'll put a link to the patterns I'm making down underneath. But this is probably not far off finished actually once I go through it. I haven't looked at this for quite a while. And the only reason I stopped this, I just got busy. And yeah, little granny square. So this is one that I definitely want to finish. And it's just a matter of sitting down getting it done. And I want to lay it out on point when I get to sew it up. But yeah, it does remind me, somewhere in the country, nice picnic, nice rug. So that's a definite one to be finished. Okay, blockheads 5. And I'll be lost without all these boxes that come to put things in. So I would often watch blockheads. People make blockheads, quilts, and I just think they turn out really beautiful. So I finally started making one. When I started, I was using this fabric. I don't know if you can see it. It has little words in the center of it. But then I found this fabric, I'll show you, found this fabric with bees. And it's just lovely. I really like blue and yellow as a colour combination. And then I found this fabric with bees. So it's got the bees and the little love hearts. So I decided to make the rest of the blocks with mostly using bee fabric as the fussy cutting, and this is the ones I've got. I'm really happy with how this is turning out, and again I just put it away and didn't go back to it. But yeah, I like motor patterns. And the little blocks, block with a bee in it. I'd really like to make a lot more smaller blocks, little mini quilts. It's one of my goals to work on tiny blocks. I just think they're sweet. So that's a definite needs to be finished. Okay, this next quilt, it's called Hare Hollow, and I saw it, and it's the only reason I subscribed to this magazine, because I saw the pattern. I thought I have to have that. Okay, I love the pattern, but I'll show you where I got stuck. I found, you know, you start quilting and you think you like things and you think you're going to enjoy doing all the parts of it, but then you do them and some of them you like and some of them you don't like as much. But I guess that's how we grow as quilters, isn't it? So that, yeah, so Hare Hollow from the Homespun. This is the border fabric. I did buy a kit for this, so often I just make things out of my own, but this fabric is just absolutely gorgeous. And it's got little country print, little rabbits, and teacups, butterflies, little house. But to me it's too nice to use on the back of the quilt, so I've got an idea that I might use it on the front of the quilt, because I actually want to make it a bit differently. So when I bought it, I've never made hexagons, but I love the way that hexagons look. And I thought, oh, right, now's the time. I'm going to start learning how to make hexagons. And as you can see, these little hexagons go around the embroidery panels. Okay, and then there's also these tiny little coffin shape that also go in between the hexagons on some blocks, and some Dresden plates. A lot of the reason I love the quilt. When I got to trying to make them was a different story. So I don't know if you can see on there how small they are. I've actually stuck them on there to show you. But like, this is the smallest hexagon, this big, like tiny. When I tried to do it, like I realized, you know, this is just not for me. I don't have the patience, and this is what maybe put the project away. I've thought, no, I should come back to it, I should finish it, but I've come to the conclusion that I don't have to finish everything I start. I don't have to learn a new skill if I'm not enjoying it, and so I'm not going to do this part of the quilt. I'm going to come up with some other ways to circle the embroidery. And yeah, I've got a packet of templates which I'm probably going to give to someone and move on. So these are the blocks that I've done so far. I have most of the embroideries done. There's only 3 or 4 embroideries, there's still bits to do. We've got the owl. A little circlet of flowers. And this block, this was the block that taught me that you don't try and do embroidery at night in a bad light. Okay, because this is the green I've been using all through the blocks. And when I got up the next day after embroidering this, I've used a different green at the top, and then I've used a third green again at the bottom. Okay, I actually like it. I like the greens. I did think about unpicking it, but I decided no, hey, you know, it's good to have an imperfect block in a quilt. And so what I'm doing is putting a few of these colors back into some of the other blocks. But yeah, lesson learnt about embroidering at night. So a few more there to do. That one's about half done. Little windmill. And this lovely little quote, which is beautiful. It says, "Home is my soul's retreat, a place of laughter, warmth, of welcome and invitation, my shelter from all storms." And I really love that. Like a little sampler alphabet block. So yeah, if anyone else is working on this quilt, or if you made this quilt, I'd love to hear from you. Or if you are someone who loves like making little tiny hexagons and finds it relaxing, let me know in the comments, you know. I think there's so many different ways of sewing and so many different skills to learn. And then the home established, and it started at 2023, so I'm not too far behind. Maybe 12 months. The little country prints in this quilt are beautiful. We have those 4 patches. Those are going to go in there as a circle. Once that is my next step, that they appear as a small 4 patch in a big 4 patch. So we have these prints, churn dash. Great block. Looks nicer where it's fairly solid. There's one I made here with a floral, and I don't think it still looks nice, but it's not quite as nice as these ones with the solid. Blocks in blocks. Yeah, look at that. Fussy cut flowers where I can in the blocks. It's lovely little country prints, tiny little prints. So having put that away because of the hexagons, which is why I wanted it in the first place, I'm going to get that back out again and get to work on it, and I'm going to come up with an idea, or if you've got an idea, let me know, a different way to go around the embroidery. maybe even just small 4 patches, I'm not sure. Yeah, let me know what you think. Ooh, okay. I was actually quite excited when I found this cleaning up. I have not seen it for a couple of years, okay? This is Gypsy Wife. I think it's now called Wanderer's Wife by Jen Kingwall. I really like her patterns, and I've got a few of them in the to-do box over there, collection of patterns. But I think when I started this, it was probably a bit above me, because I remember, you know, I really like patterns where the measurements are a 1/2 inch or 1 inch finish, and you know, not 3/4 and 1/4. And yeah, I just remember feeling a bit frustrated with this pattern, but I do think I was a very new beginner, and I think that I kind of overestimated my capabilities. However, I remember putting it away in frustration, you know, and I honestly lost track of it. So over the last week or so, I've found a few bags and found all the pieces, and I was really surprised how much I actually had done. So I've got to decide if I want to finish making it up as a pattern. Some of these blocks need trimming. Now this is kind of, my daughter says these kind of quilts are a migraine. So I think people either love really brightly coloured, you know, quilts and fabrics. I love them, or they don't. So I'll just have a quick look through at some of these. But yeah, there is definitely more of the little blocks made than I thought I had made, which is a good thing. So I think what I need to do, is sit down and go through the pattern and absolutely think about whether I want to start, you know, putting it together. Oh, I like that. I love pink and orange together. I'd like to make like pink, red and orange together. I think go great, and that's kind of nice. I might have all the blocks done. I'll have to go and count them. I've got a bit of a list here, which is great. At that time, I remembered to put lists in things. I don't always do that. Gosh, here we go. And there's some big blocks, lots and lots. So, yep, another one. Okay, so I've always wanted to try tumbling blocks, but the Y seam looked a bit daunting. And my son wanted a tumbling blocks quilt. So I found Teresa Down Under has a great little tutorial on how to do a tumbling blocks quilt with no Y seams. And I really like her site. Like, she's probably the first place I go to look for something when I want to know something about quilting. She just writes really good tutorials. And I love these prints, these indigenous prints. So he wanted something in rusty, earthy colours. So that's what we've got. Yes. Beautiful. And that's the plain side of the block. And this, so you notice in here, you can see like it's got, I hope you can see it's got purple in the print. And this one does as well. So it's just a faint purpley mauve in the print, which I think really makes it pop. Now this has a pattern on it, and I'm not sure where it is right now, but I have the same fabric as this with a kind of purpley thread through it, and I'm going to use that on the border to kind of, you know, bring out the purple in here. I just got to find it. But this is where I'm up to. At the moment, I have lots of the strips sewn. So she gives the measurements and she demonstrates how to make, like what the measurements are for the strips and what angle ruler to cut them on. So there's lots and lots of strips sewn here. And then you start joining them, and it's joined in rows. So I have a whole box here of where I've started to join them. So that's where I'm up to, tumbling blocks. Yeah. And I'd really like to get that finished probably in the first quarter of the year, and then make some pillowcases to go with it, and you know, maybe making some cushions to go with it as well. But I don't want to let this one drag on for too long so that he can use it and get it on his bed. Rhododendron Trail, Bonnie Hunter, one of her mystery quilts. And yeah, the reason this got put away is I just got too busy. I really did just get too busy with work and life and put it away. So I have not looked at this for a long time. So I have some blocks. I've seen the finished quilt and I'm not sure, I don't love it as much as I love some of the others, and I'll show you one in my next video that I finished. Actually, my next video I'll show you two that I finished this year of Bonnie Hunters. But I really like maroon and yellow together. I added the pink for a bit of pop, and I found I don't like a straight white background on my quilts. It feels very flat. So the kind of white in this has all little black or little grey small patterns. So I'm interested to see how that turns out. Okay, and I've got some of those made as well. So I think I do want to finish it, see how it turns out, and I will need to sit down with the pattern. Usually I tick off what step I've finished on the printed pattern, and then yeah, definitely that's probably one I want to finish. Not in a hurry, but I do want to finish it. When I first decided I want to start quilting, again, I think I sometimes overestimated my capabilities, and I bought this gorgeous pattern, A Boy and a Girl album by Kim McLean. That's all applique. I actually really like applique. When my kids were young, I used to do a lot of applique on their clothes and blankets and things like that for them. I got one block made, like the applique is glued down, but it's not sewn on yet. And yeah, I really like this pattern and I want to get it done. So that's where it's up to. This has been sitting in a box for years. But now that I'm very tired, I've got no excuse to not sit down and just play with fabric and cut out little shapes and paste them on. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to working on that in 2025. And the back of that's just got kind of like a little raindrop print on it again, so it wasn't flat white. Another box, Unity, another Bonnie Hunter quilt. We've got some blocks made here. Okay, so I have got blocks made. So this was in COVID and we had all been just sent home from work, you know, and we all know what the world was like at that time. And Bonnie made this Unity pattern, which was lovely. And I got this far and I really like it. But I've got to be honest, I don't know if I want to make it into a bed quilt. I'm thinking it might just be a wall hanging. So it looks like I've probably made maybe one more row. I don't know if there's 2 rows there, maybe 2 rows. So I'm gonna finish what I've got and then see what I think about it, if I want to go on and make it into a bed quilt or if I want to make it into a wall hanger. I do really like it like that, and it does kind of, yeah, make me think back to that time. And I started it, we were all home from work, and yeah, everything just got frantically busy, and here we are, but that's okay. Another box. Oh, this is these are all K fabrics, and these are I've got another box of these squares. I've got a bag of them. They're all 2.5-inch squares, like just beautiful. And so what this actually is going to be is like all different colors swirling around, and I really enjoy just I have a designable piece of fabric hanging out in the lounge room, and it's just so relaxing to just get out the squares and put them up and have a play around and see which colour I want to go where. So this is just really fun, but they will go together. And so what I do is when I have decided where I want them to go, then I take a photograph so I can remember when I'm putting it together. But I think from memory that goes there, yellow and pink, maybe like that. And then we're going over to the blue. Not sure if you can see. And the other thing that makes me smile about this box of fabric, and so I've got a lot more, was how I came to get them was a few years ago now, when we were, you know, paying down debt and trying to pay off our house and trying to save for retirement, trying to reach financial goals and not spend too much money. And I even had a blog at the time which helped. But what I would do as my reward for reaching a goal was I would buy one packet of 2.5 squares and I would put them away, you know, for one day when I retired. So yeah, if you like sewing and you're trying to pay something off or you're trying to reach a goal, make that your little reward, you know. That's how I've got like my little Tilda fabrics and some other really nice fabrics, just gathering them slowly over the years as a reward for reaching whatever goal. So that really just makes me happy and I like playing with it. This is a Pat Sloan quilt that she started recently, Ode to Our National Parks. And I always start well and think, yep, this time I'm going to keep up, but I didn't. So I had these really bright fabrics and I thought I'll use them up, make something. I might keep it, I might donate it. But I only got a couple of blocks done. There's a part of a block done. I'm not sure what that's meant to be. There's a block in here somewhere. Okay. I really like this block. It's just so kind of bright and in your face. So I do actually really like that block. There's a bit more, but I don't think I want a quilt made of it. I think I want to do something with this. I don't know, a cushion or, I don't know. But I doubt that's going to be a quilt. I'll make a decision. Yeah, that's Ode to National Park. And it just stopped because I got sidetracked by other projects. This started off as the Simple Folk, Sarah Fiocchi, not sure how I pronounce her last name. And she had instructions on how to make the book up, and I sewed all the book up, and I put the pages in, and I made the bases for the, the applique to go on. And that's it, that's as far as I got. So, pages are ready, and that's quite a few years since I've seen that. But, I might finish it, I'm not sure. I have to think about that one. So, this pattern's called Stonehouse Garden, Wendy Shepherd. And I think I got it from the Fat Quarter Shop. It's a free pattern. I'll just hold it up so you can see. Kind of a really nice little country pattern. I don't have a quilt that's done in all blues. And I actually was looking for a way to use up all my blue scraps. And so I have a lot of things cut in here. I'm not taking them out because they're labelled with all the measurements, because I'm actually sewing some scraps together that are too small for the small bits. Yeah. So I would really like to finish this. I do have one piece of blue, large piece of blue fabric that's winter snowflakes that I will use with this, but other than that I just want to use up all my blue scraps. And yeah, I'm looking forward to making that. I want to get that done this year. Okay, the other thing that I have, and then are they UFOs or not, I have been making different things for charity, and one of the things I really like to make or have done in the past is quilts for kids, I Spy quilts. And I use usually a disappearing 9 patch, I should say. And then I got tired of that and I just started sewing them together. That one looks like it's almost done. So this box, and I have another bag of these in my drawer. These are all the kids' fabrics, quite a lot. And just 5-inch squares. I need to get them sewn up. they're taking up about a big drawer of the fabrics cut, and some are in various stages of strips sewn together. Some are bigger than others, but I want to sit down and just get rid of them and then send them on so they get used. So yeah, so kids I Spy quilts. Oh, and now for the waiting to be quilted. I did in the last couple of months finish quilting a couple of quilts, which was very satisfying, but these are waiting. Okay, I really love this quilt, and it just makes me happy. And how it came about was, I'll just stand up and show you a bit more of it. So this is actually Bonnie Hunter's Carolina chain, but instead of setting it on point, I liked it better when I just had it, you know, in rows. Okay, I absolutely love it, and I can't wait to have it finished and snuggle up underneath it. It's came about because I like to do Rainbow Scrap Challenge every month, and that's on a blog called So Scrappy. Again, I'll put a link below. But what she does is every month she picks a colour, and it's a way to use up your scrap. So you just make any blocks you want out of that colour, and then each month there's a different one. By the end of the year, you know, you've got a quilt to put together, whatever pattern you choose. And I've found it a really fun, great way to use up scraps, and also I enjoy seeing what everyone else does. So when I started making it, I was just making them, and I thought I'd probably just donate the top. But the more I made of it, the more I loved it. And by the time I finished, I'm like, yeah, no, this one's staying at my place. Okay. So another one that's waiting to be quilted, and I'm not sure, this has literally been a couple of years sitting in my to be quilted bins. It's down to one bin now. And I don't know why I put such a white border on it, but this was early on when I started, and whoops, I wanted to learn how to, you know, put blocks in on point. And so I just had 5-inch squares, simple pattern, so I could learn how to do it. And I actually really like how it worked out. Like, it's a really nice pattern, but I don't really have a single bed to put it on or a person to give it to, so I'm thinking that I might just donate the top. There's a charity that accepts tops, and that can go on to some young person who might enjoy it. But it was fun to learn that. It felt like a big deal at the time. Oh, another early quilt, but again, this one I'm keeping. I love it. This is my kind of really bright fabrics, and this was when I wanted to move past doing, you know, just squares, because I'd learned to, you know, the basics patchwork. And so the first thing I learned was disappearing 9 patch, and I've got to say disappearing 9 patch is one of my favorite, you know, patterns to quickly make something if you're looking for a donation. But yeah, most of it is K fabrics, and it's got some batiks in there. It's just waiting to have probably a border on it. I need to check if I do want to add any more rows to it and then get it quilted. But yeah, okay, almost done. Second last one to show you. This is Sweet Dreams by Pat Sloan. I just have to add these borders, and it was in the quilting basket without the borders, and then I decided I need them. That's why it's kind of not in the UFO pile, but in them. And I hum and ha about this. I really enjoyed making the blocks, and I did a lot of fussy cutting. So you can see on some of the blocks there, like there's little flowers. There's blocks with little rabbits on them. So I did a lot of fussy cutting. There's blocks with little trees on them, and the making of it I really enjoyed. I'm not sure if I overpowered it with the green for contrast. It's very hard to show this. So it's a bit tricky to show in this room, and I want to add the borders add the rest of the border, because initially I didn't have a border on it. I want to add the rest of the border, and then decide if I'm going to keep it or give it away. But yeah, really nice pattern to sew. It was really lovely. Pat Sloan. And the last one is another Pat Sloan quilt. Now, I made this again fairly early in my decision to, you know, take on more, become a better quilter, I guess. At that time, I was sewing on my little tiny Elna. It was very small. It's the first machine I bought when I was 16. I'm a lot older than 16, so it's pretty old. And so I made it in 3 parts because I really didn't know how I was going to quilt it on a tiny little throat. Since then, I've got better machines. But I really like this. So this was a great pattern to kind of get my confidence up. Pat Sloan writes patterns so beautifully in the way she teaches. They're just so easy to follow. Nice shapes, and also she does things often that are uneven, and I like that. So I decided to do it on Christmas fabrics because I want a Christmas quilt. And I'll show you some of the blocks. It's got stars. I lost this for a while somewhere in my sewing room or whatever, so I was determined to find this in the big cleanup last week, and I'm so glad I did. Here's some of these bigger blocks here. And really this would be a good project for me to get into early. I wanted to get it done for Christmas this year, but that didn't happen. So as you can see, like, you know, lots of different blocks. It was a great way for me to learn different blocks and good big sizes. Yeah, but I love it. Oh, there's one more, which is done here. And this has not got much done on it. This is, I can't pronounce it very well, Etoile Rouge by Catherine Kerr. I bought a kit to make another quilt in these beautiful fabrics, kind of French general. And I didn't even get started on that one, but I did get started on Catherine Kerr's quilt. So in here there's lots of, the blocks are not joined together, but there's a lot of blocks that are cut out. Yeah, looking forward to that. I had forgotten about that one. Oops. So thank you for watching and having a look at all my UFOs. If you enjoyed this, I'd really appreciate if you liked, subscribe, but yeah, leave a comment down below. You know, I really enjoy quilting. I enjoy talking about quilting and watching quilting videos. So I'm hoping this channel helps me get more done this year. So in my next video, I'm actually going to show what I completed last year and a bit about what I'm going to do in 2025. So yeah, thanks. Join me then. Bye.